So if you're a business owner who is ambitious and you want to grow and you're thinking, how can I make it happen? Well, I want to really take my company to the next level. This is the video for you. My name's James White. I'm a small business sales expert, a man that's helped build fantastic sales teams and helped incredible companies grow. And we do that by giving them a sales blueprint. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the key points that you need to put in place to get a sales blueprint in place for your team. And I'll even at the end of it give you some ideas and tips on how you can make that happen, or give you some chances to work with someone that can make it happen for you. But the critical thing is this: we have to build that blueprint or framework in order to grow. And if you want to take your business to the next level and grow and scale, you need to watch this video. Let's have a look at the key points of how you can take a sales blueprint, put it in place, and watch the rocket hit the sky. So many business owners that I talk to are fantastic at what they do. But one of the biggest frustrations that they have is that those that then join them in the company, whether it's the first hire or other subsequent hires, just don't have the same ability as them to do it. And it stops them from growing and it frustrates them. And if you're one of those people watching this video, I get it totally. I've been in that position. No builder ever goes to a plot of land and says, oh, I'm just going to build something on here. They've got an architect or someone that's done a principal design to be able to give them an outline of what it is that's going to be built. And they're following the instructions to make sure that they get what was in their mind. And it's the same in your business. If you want growth to happen, you can't just expect it to happen without there being a blueprint in place. Point number one is this: your team simply aren't psychics. Uri Geller, he was the man that we knew in the UK here that used to bend spoons and could read your mind. And you might have a magician or someone like Dynamo or whoever else is in your team, in which case, good luck. They can read your mind, but your sales team can't. So the reality is they aren't psychics and they don't know what's in your brain as an MD or as a sales leader. And if you can't communicate and outline what it is that's inside your head and how it looks on paper for them to follow, the chances are they're going to get failed and not achieve the success you want. So many business people, unfortunately, just have this impression that everyone's going to be like themselves, or everyone's going to react to a prospect in a certain way, or have the same emotional skills as them to know how to react or respond, or when someone says about something, what to do, and the reality is they don't. And unless you want to spend time, countless times, always repeating the same things time and time again, a blueprint is the best way to put down on paper what's worked, or put down on paper, put down on a system what's worked, and then allow the sales team to follow it. If you don't be surprised that you waste a lot of time and then things go a bit off-piste. If you go back to that builder analogy, if the builder didn't have an architect's plan, he'd build whatever he wanted wherever. And that may not look good and be the ultimate result of what you want. So when we're working with companies to put blueprints in place, and by the way, my business, the Small Business Sales Academy, this is what we specialize in. But the two things that we will put in place to start with that are really, really key are this. We will look firstly at the previous successes and failures that the person that's doing sales has had. We'll listen to some of the calls. We'll look at the outline of where they've been successful, what type of companies have they been talking to, where have they've achieved those results, that it allows us then to document that so that we can then go and find other people similar to that. What we'll also then do is we'll look at the sales cycle and the sales process. So let's have a look at where we've been successful. Success leaves clues. Have a look at the characteristics of the persons or the companies that you worked with previously. What was it about them that made you such a perfect fit for them? Let's document that so we create a customer persona and we can really identify the real good fits for us. And what we can also then do is have a look at that length of time and what is the journey that that prospect went on from engaging with you, maybe in month 1 down to month 6 and buying from you. Most salespeople fail because they try and go from stage 1 to stage 5 too quickly without understanding that there's a journey to go on. And so the key thing is to make sure we document that journey and understand and then measure how many people come through. That's what great companies do. That's what brilliant sales blueprints do, like the ones we're putting in place for some organizations at the moment. And because they've got them in place, they're able to then measure and see how they're progressing and also make sure that the new salespeople they're bringing in are following that process and structure. If they're not, they can make some changes. And if they are, they can then tweak to make sure they're getting the results they want. And with a sales process that's clear from top to bottom and that sales journey, we can then get the business on board we want and make sure that the people we bring on board to help us grow are getting success. So there's no point having a blueprint in place unless we can win business. And the reality is, in order to be able to be successful, we've got to generate leads and opportunities. There are only two ways in which to bring business in. Either opportunities that come through to you, what we would call inbound leads, so the I stands for inbound, and those or leads that we have to go and find, opportunities that people that haven't heard of us, and we've got to go and find those people. Ideally, we want a mix of the two. Some companies will only work on just inbound opportunities, referrals, people being recommended to them, people engaging with their marketing materials. And it's great to have these, but we need to do a bit of both and make sure that the marketplace is aware of how we're operating. So let's look at a bit more detail on how we can make that happen. And this little framework that you'll see here is a critical way in which you can start to generate outbound leads. One of the things I'm going to put underneath in the comment section below is a download resource that you can have access to, which is a simple framework in order to reach out to new people that don't know who you are. And I always say to people, there are 5 key ways or 6 key ways which you can reach out to people that don't know you. The first is you can pick up the phone and speak to them. The second is you can email them. The third is you can have social messages and connection with them. The fourth is you can send them a direct mail piece, maybe actually something in the post. The fifth is you can do video messages through maybe email or social media, or the sixth is you can go and see them in person. But what we like to help organizations with is a framework, especially if when you're engaging with people that are brand new, it's going to take time. We talked about it taking potentially 1 to 6 months. What this structure does is look to outline, let's say over a 3-month period, because we know our sales cycle may be longer, actions that we can take every single week to make sure that we start making the prospect that we're talking to get familiar who we are. The biggest mistake that people make in sales situations is they do one email here and then think that no one's responded to them and they give up. Or they keep sending emails saying, well, I get a lot of these saying, did you get my last email? The reality is that's not going to work very often, especially if your previous email hasn't given any value. This framework, which is a simple way to put in place, is what we do and build for clients. And it works incredibly well when things are done that talk to the messages and the key points, that the problems that the audience has. But what I guarantee you is this, if you just do one of them and try and sheep dip and pop in and out of doing outbound prospecting, it's not going to work. Build a plan over 3 months, and if you download the resource that we put in the content section below, you'll give an example of how you can use a series of communications over a period of time to get the right result. But you've also got to make sure that if the leads are coming to you, then you also take the right approach with that as well. There are 3 things that I talk about that are critical with inbound leads. The first one is this: content. You still need that great content, whether it be videos or podcasts or guides or cheat sheets or templates, in order to be able to engage effectively with that lead and opportunity. You want to make sure that you're continuing to add value to them. There's nothing worse than a salesperson assuming just because a person's come through that it's a guaranteed sale. Assumptions make an arse out of you an umption, and I don't want that to be the case in your business. Yes, these inbound leads have a higher chance of converting, but it doesn't mean they're going to convert if we take the wrong actions. And the actions to take and what to take and how to take them is all part of the blueprint. So once you've generated your leads, that's fantastic, you might say. It's all sailing from there. I'm afraid not. Do you know what? Prospects generally do operate in a way that we don't expect them to. What happens when the prospect doesn't turn up for a meeting that you've maybe arranged? Or what happens when the prospect mentions maybe on a communication that you send in, something such as we've already got another provider, or this is our situation? How do your team respond and react to that situation? Again, you have 2 options. One option is you can let them do what they want and hope for the best, or 2 is you put a blueprint in place and say, when this happens, use this as a response. We know, and you know, you can't be in their shoes. You can't do the call for them, although you can attend certain calls with them. But if you give them the tools to be able to know what to say, and then the support to make sure that they're practiced on how to respond, you're going to increase your chance of success. You know what worked for you. Let's make sure we document that, as well as getting some sales insights and training that can help them respond in the right way, and it's going to enable them to get the results that you want them to. So what are the other critical factors around blueprints? Are making sure that we start to then document how we make success happen. We once worked with an organisation who used to sell event services into weddings. And the reality is they'd have conversations with their prospects, and they'd sometimes find that the prospects would be a bit unsure about going forward with them. And they identified through some of the work we did with them that one of the reasons why people didn't sign up is because they were afraid that they wouldn't actually turn up on the event. What did they do? They started to document how they made the journey happen. When you start to buy from us, this is what we do. This is how we go through the process. This is the work we put in before the day to ensure you get the right result. Document how, when you become a customer, it works, how you go through the journey. Showcase how you put that together and make them believe that you can solve their problem, and then we then got a final thing of giving them the trust to make it happen. But that how is a critical part of the blueprint, and when we put it in place, good things can happen. And the final part of a simple sales blueprint that is a really critical thing to put in place is the final bits of what I call structure and process. Make sure you document what's going to happen. What does the salesperson need to do within the blueprint in order to make sure that that gets delivered to the standard and the expectation that we wanted? Because if we've got someone that's bought in here that's keen, and then we go and disappoint them here, we lose the opportunity of them telling lots of other people. But when we deliver to a really clear process and structure, and we onboard that customer in the right way, great things can happen. And that's another reason why the blueprint then comes full circle. We've then in a position to know what's worked. We know what's worked here as well. We deliver that time and time again, and suddenly the blueprint is into a motion where it's the numbers that we get through that make the difference. The reality is this: you can't grow by just having it all in your head as the MD or the business owner. Document your process, document the outline. It's an investment, but it's one worth making in order to ensure that you get the success that you want. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Let's share it with lots of other business owners so they can get the blueprint they need to get sales success. I really hope that what I'm sharing is giving you the tools and insights for you and your team to get the results you deserve. I want that success for you. Let's make it happen. Let's subscribe to the videos. Let's get new videos and insights every week. Let's get you and your business where you want it to be on the path to growth with a blueprint that makes sense, that has impact and gets results. Thanks for watching. See you next week.